Alright guys, I figured it's been a while. I have a video that I gotta upload, and it's not much, it's just me talking again. But I figured I'm waiting on FID card in lovely state of New Jersey so I can go get a range membership and go out and test some of these loads that I've been trying to work up. And I got a Marlin 1895 GBL that I'm probably going to do a review on at some point. That I want to try a bunch of loads out. One being, this is MEAC 462 gas check hammer mold. It's like a 330 grain gas check guy. Comes in a bunch of different configurations. And then I also got a NOE mold that's actually over here on the hot plate. It's a, I forget the number, 460 405 round flat, and it's a gas check 405 grain round flat mold. And I also got this 460 175 wadcutter mold, and this I saw on Full Dead Taco's channel. He cast a bunch of these, and I went, oh, that'd be kind of cool, you know, a nice light bullet, just for plinking stuff to have fun with, low recoil. Whether or not it'll cycle in the GBL, I haven't found out yet. I haven't loaded anything up to see if it would even cycle, but worst case scenario, I got to thumb them in by hand. I'm not really that worried about it. I was just trying to figure out load date on these things, and I've powder coated all of them. So, come on, focus, would you? So they're all powder coated. It's a real light powder coat, just one coat of black. And I started doing some measuring on them, and I came to find out. Sorry, I gotta load the pot up with some of this stuff. I came to find out that these 330 grainers are something, I think they were like 800 thousandths in height. With the gas check, they're just over 800. They're 809. We'll call it like 810 or something like that. So, if I look at these guys, are about 400 thousandths tall. So we'll call that like 400, give or take, with powder coat and all that stuff. And looking at it, I mean, it kind of looks like everything will line up there as far as like crimp groove and stuff. It'll be pretty close. I'll have the majority of the height of this in the case with the seating depth. So I was going to use load data for this 330 grain. The problem being is I don't have load data for this specific bullet. There's a Lyman mold, I forget the number of it, but it's about 330 grains, give or take a couple grains, that I was using load data for. Now, if I tried that load data with this bullet that's about, what is that, half the weight? 340, yeah, about half the weight. I would assume that this thing would be leading like crazy, and just I don't think it would shoot that well. So I was planning on going with something along the lines of a trapdoor load to start, or really not to start, but I was going to go trapdoor load, see what it did at a bottom end trapdoor load, and then either work up or down depending on what it looked like it was doing. Now, I don't have a chronograph or anything to really measure velocity or get, you know, good load data from. It's kind of all from feel and just how it shoots. So I casted up a bunch of these, and I sized them 458, or it's 4585, in hopes that they'll shoot alright. I still haven't even selected the bore of the rifle, but it looks alright, everything looks good. So I kind of wanted to get you up to speed on that. I know I got a lot of projects going on. Right now I'm waiting for my FID card to come back so I can actually get a range membership and go test out, I don't know, 10 or 15 different loads for all the different stuff I have. The next thing I wanted to talk about was this 405 grain mold. NOE molds makes absolutely outstanding molds. The double-ended wadcutter mold that I have for these little guys, I never had a problem with it casting. I cleaned it, I heat cycled it, I didn't smoke it, which I always forget to smoke these molds. I maybe did like 10 pours or something like that, and it was up and running perfect. This mold, surprisingly doesn't need to be run that hot. I thought with the size of the cavities, because they're tiny little cavities. I mean, there's not a whole lot there to hold heat. I thought with the size of those cavities, I'd have to run this mold retardedly hot, but I can run the pot with my PID at like 720 to 680 depending on outside temperature, and it runs just fine. I can throw good bolts all day, no problem. This 405 mold, so far I've been messing with this, trying to get it to throw good bullets for me, and the biggest problem I'm having is, if these were a flat base mold, it wouldn't have the gas check shank down here. Come on, would you focus? I know it's not focused, but it wouldn't have this gas check shank. So, let's see if this lighting helps. No, it doesn't help at all. Not in the least little bit. So, these gas check shanks right here. Come on, would you please focus? It wouldn't have these gas check shanks. Sorry, it would just be a solid band all the way down. The problem is right now these shanks have a little ledge on them. I'm not sure why it's there. It's either for the gas check to stop on, or it's just something to hold lube, or take up space, or whatever reason it's there for. I'm not positive. But right now I'm having fill-up problems with just that little area. The rest of the mold, once I get it warm enough, it fills out real well, and it produces a really nice bullet. It's just that little band keeps rounding out on me. And I was hoping it was just oil in the mold I didn't get out or something like that. Right now I think it's a flow issue because I'm running the pot. I ran it at 780 before with the spout wide open, and it's still not filling them out consistently. I will get fill out, but it's not consistent enough where I can go, okay, well I can run this mold with my eyes shut and it'll work. And that's usually how I like to run molds, is no matter what I do, so long as I keep up the cadence and I keep the pour right, and I hit the screw plate the same way every time, and I have a consistent method, it'll pour good every single time, and I really don't have to worry about inspecting the bullets by hand. Usually what I'll do is the first 10 or 15 throws go into this pan, they go back in the pot when I'm done. The rest of them go on the tail down here that you can't see, and those are the ones I keep. Right now, everything in the pan and on the tail are going back in the pot until I can figure this mold out. Hopefully I don't have to modify the pot. I'm thinking it's a flow issue. I don't think I'm getting enough lead into the mold quickly enough. I say that because I've tried it slower, I've tried it faster, I've tried it wide open, and it seems like the more heat I put into it, the better it flows. And it's now it's hit or miss, whereas before I just couldn't get fill out, period. Now, if I run the mold real hot, real fast, I can get fill out sometimes, and sometimes I won't. So right now I'm trying to work through that and get some good bolts out of this, because this is another load that I want to try, is these 405 grainers, because I'd like to do something in black powder with the guide gun, and I really want to try these out and see what they can do. Everyone says the 405s are kind of the old military load and all that, so I just really want to mess with them. I guess at this point I'm just trying to give you guys an update of where I'm at. When I get the range membership, we're going to go over, I got the guide gun I want to go over. I got a little Savage, what is it, Savage Mark II. It's a 22 long rifle bolt gun that is retardedly accurate with 4 cents a round ammo, surprisingly. And that's a little secret. Blazer ammo, I found it on YouTube actually. Blazer ammo, it shot retardedly small groups, 25 yards, 50 yards. I haven't tried it at 75 yet. The next time I go out, I'm going to try it at 75. But 50 yards off a rest. It was probably just under a 3/4 of an inch group, 10 shot groups, magazine. Put a magazine in about 3/4 of an inch, give or take. And then I really need to do something with the Kimber, because I've had this for a really long time, and I've shot it at other ranges that don't allow you to film stuff. And the reason I want to get the range membership where I'm going is because they don't say specifically you're not allowed to film. And usually the range is quiet enough where I can do that. And I want to be able to take the shots and give you my impressions as I'm taking the shots on the loads. So hopefully I'll be back. I mean, they've had my permit stuff for 2 months now, so hopefully I'll be back in at least another month with some updates for you guys. Otherwise, it's just going to be casting videos and loading videos. Right now I have 100 rounds loaded up of just test loads to play with in the rifle, and I can't even shoot them yet, so hopefully I'll be back soon enough with some data for you guys, or some kind of conclusion on the loads that I did load, and we'll see what's going on, so stay tuned.